more than human. And welcome back to the channel, all my fellow more than humans out there. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll. And today, boy, do I have a doozy for you today. I've been searching for some of the darker, horror, shocking books ever since I read American Horror Story. Now I have a video on that. You can kind of look that up. I might throw it up here. Maybe I won't. But I made a video of like books that were kind of in that genre that I was going to try and get my hands on and read and review for you guys, because up until that point I feel like American Horror Story is the most disturbing book I had ever read. And when I looked up books, this book, The Wasp Factory by Iain Banks, kept coming up towards the top of the list. So I was like, I gotta do it, right? Before we kind of get into it, even before I read what's on the back of the book, trigger warnings, if you didn't see it in the thumbnail, pretty much all the trigger warnings. So I'm gonna read what it says on the back of the book, the synopsis, the description. So this is on the description, so it wouldn't ruin it for you if you look it up, because just trust me. It says, meet Frank, just 16 years old and unconventionally, to say the least, an unconventional 16-year-old. 2 years after I killed Blythe, I murdered my young brother, Paul, for quite different and more fundamental reasons than I'd disposed of Blythe. And then a year after that, I did for my young cousin, Esmeralda, more or less on a whim. That's my score to date, 3. I haven't killed anybody for years and don't intend to ever again. It was just a phase. So, yeah, so there's that. And this book kind of, starts off with Frank, like putting the heads of like rats and rabbits and stuff on spikes, and he has this like thing, I think he calls it like the killing field. And he lives on an island, and a certain section of it he goes and like puts up like a war zone thing, and he puts on fake wars and pits little animals against them. And he has this thing called the Wasp Factory. And I won't go into super detail on it, but he uses this Wasp Factory to kind of tell the future. And I wouldn't say that this book is so much any sci-fi in it. What we really have here is Frank, and they allude to, right at the very beginning of the book, Frank had an accident when he was younger, and I believe this accident led to Frank pretty much becoming a psychopath. If you look into the definition and you read this book, very not what we kind of think of normally in our head is, oh, that's a psycho. Like kind of the clinical definition of psychopath. And he also has a older brother that also, his older brother is closer to a sociopath, but also they allude to a certain incident that happened that triggered it. Now, they tell you right at the very beginning of the book that his brother is in a mental institution because he was caught setting dogs on fire in the main town. And The whole book pretty much is his brother escapes and is making his way to the island, or he believes his brother's going to make his way to the island. So you get intermittent, like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, where's he at? Where's he at? But then you also get to learn more about Frank, his history, why he is the way he is, and you get more about the things that he does, and then you relive the moments that you get in the synopsis and what exactly happened and why he did what he did to his relatives. And him and his father have a weird dynamic relationship. His father is is some kind of scientist. He believes, he actually doesn't really know what his father does, but his father has alluded to having patents of some sort and receiving money from that. Frank doesn't go to school, but is very intelligent. And he's just kind of starting to come into his own, and drinking and doing all these things, becoming an adult, and just runs into, starts that thing where, you're butting heads with your father as you're becoming an adult. And there is a crazy twist at the end of this book. And it's very timely. This book was written like 20 plus years ago. But the twist is so timely right now. And wow. Just all the things that happen is wow. But the twist at the end, I didn't see coming. So if you are looking for a shocking book that's a very deep dive into the psyche, this is a great book. Super short. You could probably knock it out in a day. But if you are squeamish about pretty much anything, this is not the book for you. Do not read this book if you get triggered by anything. If you have any PTSD of childhood trauma, do not read this book. But if you are into those, looking into shocking books, this would be a great book to go into. Let me know if you have read this book. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things so we can get this video out to more people. And remember, be more than human.